What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the first evening Chris's Basement live stream. We don't do this very often, but I was running out of Sundays to do live streams. And of course, I've got stuff in the way, and I'm not prepared. Brewitt, hello, how are you? JT is here. He doesn't get to come to live streams very often. He is in Australia. Thomas is here. Welcome. Oh man, it's that Colin is here. Yeah, it's that guy. Again. We had a lot on chat beforehand. Colin was first. First thumbs up, nice. See, you forgot the thumbs up. It's 5 o'clock for Thomas. Yeah, we'll have to do a time check on everybody here. So, for this one, if you watched the last live stream, this printer had a slight explosion when I tried to tension the belt. And the acrylic pieces, one of, I believe it was this one, acrylic piece, snapped and flew that way. So this is that piece. Just as a reminder, there's what both of those pieces look like. So I have some printed pieces, and they are pretty sturdy. They're a lot sturdier than the acrylic pieces. I did print a couple of different pieces. I want to get this thing plugged in and preheating because it takes forever. That takes forever. I'm going to go ahead and just hit it preheat so we can, because this bed is so large, it takes a long time to get to 55. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Oh, well, that's fine. Hulk strength. Well, I wish. It just shattered on its own, unfortunately. So I had, see if I can get you a better shot of this here. We'll go with this one. That is really overexposed. Sorry, every time I walk away from this thing, the camera changes around on me. That one doesn't look too bad. That's not too bad. Okay, anyway, so if you look at these parts, so I printed these parts out first because I really liked them. They have an adjuster on the back. You can use a bolt, but I don't know how they're supposed to go on because they have these parts that actually fit in the rails. These holes cover up the corner screws, but there's so many T-nut slots. Even if you take the printer apart, you can't slide these on here. And I left a comment on Thingiverse, how are you supposed to install these, but they've never gotten back to me. So very cool parts, but I had no idea how they worked. So we ended up with just pretty much straight up replacements for the flat ones, only they do have an L bracket on the side that makes them a little more sturdy. They still do have a little bit of flex in them, but they have been working so far. The next issue, so I've had a few issues here. The next issue, and Bo, I know we talked about this on the last live stream, but this bed is completely not flat. It has a huge dip in the center, and I was actually going to check that with a ruler. I have a level, but that's not going to do me much good. Just to see if there's any way I could get some of that flex out of there. It's got a fairly large hump in the center. I'm working on that. Sholm. See, Sholm. I know Sholm, and his son's name is Sholm. I say it when I meditate now. So I'm doing better. I'm sorry, it's actually a little higher in the center. The print is too close. But I don't want to break anything else on this machine today. Oh, I forgot my, if anybody hasn't seen it, this is the first attempt at the hang printer Benchy. It is 300%. He's a little messy, but he's doing okay. It might be a little flatter, but not a whole lot. Thank you, thank you. See, I'm getting it, I'm getting it. Hit it with a hammer, yep. Heat it up until it starts to melt. Yeah, I have a feeling I'm definitely not the only one. So I guess glass is probably the only alternative here, if you can get a nice piece of flat glass. But it's going to be pricey. I'm guessing that's probably a $40, $50 piece of boro if you want to order it. If you can find somebody that'll cut it that big. We'll try. We'll give it a shot. And then there was one other issue. So the extruder kept skipping. And it was getting crazy under extrusion. Like crazy under extrusion. Can you see that? I mean, it's crunchy. You can probably hear it. It's so under extruded. The extruder was skipping. So what they don't tell you, and I should have known this because I have seen printers that do this before. I should have known, but what they don't tell you in any of the manuals or anything is that when you install the Bowden tube, it goes all the way down to the nozzle. It is actually acting as the PTFE liner in the barrel. So you had about, and it would have been almost impossible to feed it in from the top like you normally do with a Bowden tube because it was so tight. So I had to take it all apart and realize what was going on, clean it out because the Bowden tube wasn't down onto the nozzle far enough. So I had to get all that stuff out of there, put everything back together, and then I was able to take the top coupler off and slide the Bowden tube down in there, and that resolved the issue. So I didn't have to change any settings or anything like that, just had to do some slight rework of the assembly. Lower of the server, yep. I can totally see why, Bo, because they do that number. $30 for 300, that might do it. Good old zip ties. And if I miss any of your chat, just bug me until I see it, or highlight my name so I can catch it. James, I saw that you were on another stream. Hopefully I'm not running over your stream. Steve, Quinn, you are, I sent you that package. He is one of my Patreon supporters, and you are much appreciated. Thank you. Okay, caught up. So, what else? So the extruder skipping, high bed. We got these parts fixed. So the next cool story. Let's see where we are on the preheat first. We're getting pretty close. I don't know how, this thing's so big, I'm not sure how we're going to do the whole Benchy cam thing, but we'll work something out. I don't know if this one will go high enough for a Benchy cam or not. Let me come around here. Maybe I can get it a little higher. Let's see. That might work. Don't know. We might have some odd angles here because this thing's so big. What now? Auto home? Let's disable steppers and let's just take a look about... I missed something. Sorry, Thomas. I did check all of the stepper drivers, but they were all pretty much around 8.5 volts, so I just left them. So we were okay there. Thomas, yes, I do have an X1. I did some builds. Or X1, is that different than a regular X1? I don't know. Is that something new they put out? Mind of Matt is here. Greetings, good to have you. I didn't acknowledge you. All the Rons and the Dons, I get them all confused. I realize that usually we have a large European crowd on my streams, but that's way past everybody's bedtime over there for this one. So I'm curious to see who shows up this evening. We usually do 10 o'clock Sunday mornings, and that's prime time for the European folks. Okay, steppers are disabled. Let's just give it a look and see how close we are here. I need some paper. Would I recommend the X1? Thomas, if you can get it cheap, and I mean cheap, like $100 cheap, and because there's so many mods for it, it's a very popular machine. It's not a good printer out of the box by any means, but there's so many mods, I think you can actually make it a really nice machine. So if you want a project and you really like modifying stuff and making things better, go for it, because it'll be cheap enough. Seven hours before stream started. Good. So what time is there? There's print and play. We need to... Hello, James. James, hopefully you weren't streaming this evening, but I had to squeeze this one in. Before we do that, I'm gonna get distracted with all these chats. One second. One second. I need to get Glenn in here too. Come on. I can never remember what tab anything's on. There we go. There we go. Now we have one more mod. James, you are now mod. Good, good. I didn't want to run over your stream. That looks way too high to me. So maybe I actually did affect something by bending it a little. I'm gonna home that one more time. That's another thing about this machine. It's real easy to cause the bed to drop down just a little bit. You can just barely touch it, and the Z rods are so smooth that it will actually advance it down some. It's okay, we have plenty of time for the bed to preheat. Oh, Flumageddon. See, that is way too high. But I think that's what I ended up having to do to compensate for the center. I mean, it is really high, especially on the back. The front's not so bad. I don't like it. There is a Z-adjust screw on this, but it seems like it's not sturdy enough, so it just changes at random. Yeah, I think the evening streams are... Well, what time would that be for you, Sonic James? When do you... Your time, when do you usually stream? So I believe you are in the UK somewhere? Let's try that again. This is all I've been doing with this machine. Setting the screw, auto home. Setting the screw, auto home. And disable steppers. Lots of that too. Now see, that looks more like it to me. Still really high in the back. And those thumb screws aren't going to compensate for that much space. $149, congratulations, one more. Yes, Sonic James, I was talking to you. What is your time zone? Just curious, what you said you get a lot of US and Canada. Just curious what window that is. Let's see what that looks like. This one's way too high. I don't know if I don't think so. I don't think I'm big enough for the sellers to start watching yet. Right. As long as they sell one, right? I don't know if I like this 6-screw leveling method or not. It's just really high in the center. I think that's why I ended up, that's why it was set that way, is because I couldn't get it level enough. That's going to be interesting when I want to go make some really... Currently, this is the biggest printer I have. Well, I mean, outside of the hang printer, this is the biggest printer I have. So I would like to print some really big stuff, but if I can't get it leveled out, then it's no good to me. GD Pate is here. It's got to be pretty late for you. Yeah, it's nowhere close to level. Yeah, there's 6. There's 3 on each. There's 1 in the center. That's interesting that yours would be different. I don't know. That might print. Might. Let's start one. If we have to stop it, we have to stop it. Still got 5 more degrees to go. So we've been on this stream. Let's give you an idea how long this thing takes to heat. We've been on the stream 21 minutes. So I'm guessing at least 15 of that, this thing's been preheating. So it takes a while. It's just a very large PCB. Build volume on this one is 330, 330, 400. Someone will have to correct me. There are links in the description if you want to check it out. (9 p.m. Central European Time, Berlin. Okay. (22 watching, 22 minutes ago. Not bad. Yes. Yeah, we're going to have to figure out some sort of solution for this thing as far as... Because, I mean, there's nothing under the center of that PCB, and it's only 3 millimeter. So there's going to have to be a solution for that. Yeah, it's a big one. Mike is here. Hello. Yeah, I mean, that pulling off the center screws might fix it. I don't know. We can give that a try too. It's actually a little high though in the center. Yeah, that's the biggest PCB I've ever seen so far. 330 is a good one. It's actually a little bigger than that, I believe. I think they account for binder clips. See, the Tornado is the fastest I've ever seen. That thing really heats. Yet another stream. No, it's the PCB. You can actually see if you look across the top of that PCB, it's bent in the center. It's just just enough to really irritate you. ½ millimeter or so. The plate. So I ended up with the plate, the plexiglass plate. So somebody was saying that they went from a fiber plate like Tronxy usually does to a plexiglass plate, and now they're back to a fiber plate. So maybe, I don't know what they were trying to fix with this plexi, but it didn't work. I have a CR10 plate. I have the original CR10 glass plate laying around somewhere, but it had a real deep pocket in it, but it was kind of to the right of center, so it was kind of hard to miss. So I ended up having to get another sheet for that, and they're not the cheapest pieces of glass. There you go, 600 watt silicone, 2 minutes. That's probably the best solution, Mike. If you can get a nice flat, like a real thick piece of aluminum for a silicone heater, that would be excellent. I don't know if you'd have to go to 24 volt or if you just want to go straight to AC on that, but that would be an excellent alternative. Heated bed for the hang printer. They joke about that, but we just need heated floor. I was thinking about that the other day. How could I do it cheap? We should do that though. It wouldn't be that difficult. It might be expensive. It's expensive to run, but it probably wouldn't be that difficult. Who said quality control? Nobody. Never. Yeah, the aluminum is not that great. I've heard of people printing on the mirrors, but I have never tried it. I've tried like hardware store glass, but it's really thin, and it's really sharp. So I mean, you almost would have to finish it, and I mean it's pretty flat. But if you put like it's even so thin, if you get a too big of a binder clip or something like that, depending on what you're clipping it down to, it might get a little bowed. Glass does flex ever so slightly right until it breaks. Electric floor heater. That's why we need the heated water under the concrete. Right now it's so cold here on the floor that it's really hard to print anything with that. It's a volcano and it has a 40 watt heater, and it still takes some dips. So you need there you go, boiler. Excellent. Let's see what this is going to do. I probably wore out the center from printing Benchies. Well, it's not kicking anything out at the moment. Wait, maybe it is. I'm going to have to figure out how to get this in frame. It's going to be a pretty uninteresting stream if you guys can't see the print. First layer doesn't look very promising. And now it's starting to catch up. You can hear the extruder skipping because it's too high. And this is exactly what I've been dealing with. So far, this one has been really trying. Especially after, you know, it exploded on me and everything. Oh, that was the other story I was going to tell. What happened this week. I'll get to that in just a moment. So, get caught up. Kay Cameron is here. Welcome. Keep James in line. Yeah, well, there's probably something we can do to flatten it out. I'm definitely going to look into it because this seems to be a real problem with a lot of machines. Still don't like it. I don't like the Z adjust on it either. There's got to be a better printed version of that. I don't know how popular these machines are, really. I don't know if there's a lot of people modding them out yet or not. I've seen a couple people build them, but nobody I really know. You know, just random YouTubers. Sorry. It would be better, direct feed, if we could figure out. It would make the machine even taller than it already is. No worries. No, we'll be here for a minute. How you doing? That might look. That looks much better. Much better. Okay, now we're off and going. So what's this table cam look like? Are we going to be able to get any kind of... Man, it's just a little too high for Benchy viewing. Oh, wait, maybe we can do this. Let's see. No more big printers, please. But I'm going to start doing small printers. Takes too much filament anyway. Let's see if we can make this work. The trend on big printers has really been huge. Quality's not going to be so great, but it might work. Might still be able to see it. Let's try this. We'll go table. just a little bit over there. Okay, we'll see how that looks. All right, now we just stand around and watch things print. That's what we do best. So we're already on the second layer, so we're moving. I probably missed a bunch of stuff. Oh, good night, Sonic. We'll see you soon, I'm sure. We've got another stream coming on Sunday. It's a surprise stream, so it should be interesting. Just catching up on chat. Snappy Rip Rap version 3. That sounds awesome. It does sound interesting. Looks a little askew. Which part, Michael? Well, now we're on the other view, so now you probably can't tell me, but it's probably just the camera angle. My camera's probably a little askew. Here, I can make it look a little better. Now my mat is askew, so that'll probably make it look weird. Stream Saturday, yep, surprise. No, stream Saturday, no stream Saturday, stream Sunday. Stream Sunday, yes, surprise stream. Oh, is Gainesville this weekend? Is the Gainesville, no, I thought that was later. Or maybe it is. Is Gainesville Maker Faire this weekend? That's too far a drive for me. We can rebuild it. We can make it stronger if we have to. Top rail or bed to the right seems smaller. That might be the case. It's real close, though. Let's go ahead and judge it while it's printing, shall we? So you're looking at 75 on that side. It's real close, within a half a millimeter. No problem, JT. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. See you later, Thomas. Yeah, you got to get ready for Thing Thursday. I watch that every Thursday. You and Xander, you're my Thursday videos. Crash at your parents' house. Yes. All right. We'll I gotta come out there and try some of that brew. Gotta find some money for a flight because I'm not driving it. You do have your laser eyes on tonight. Besides, this is a Tronxy from Gear Best. You might as well not even get your ruler out. You're just gonna be disappointed. If it prints, hey, you've won. It probably is a little askew. The thing that's throwing me off the most are these parts. These are actually lifted a little. I bought some. Now I've been trying to tell this story like 5 times. So I bought some new GT2 belt. This is that steel. It has the steel wire in it, and it's super hard to tension. I mean, there's no flex in it, so you end up with sloppy belts that are pulling way too tight on those motors. So I've got some replacement belt for it. I don't want to do too much until I've actually had a chance to honestly review what they sent me, which isn't turning out so good. Last stream, when the part exploded after 5 hours of build, I got a comment And this is why you read your comments, YouTubers. Always read the comments. I got a comment that said, hey, those are under so much tension, it'd probably be better if they were made out of aluminum. And I just sent back, it's like, you know, I was thinking the same thing, and not even like, you know, the plate steel that they use. They need to be like really thick aircraft grade aluminum. And I sent him back and I said, I'm going to mention that in the review. You know, these really should be metal parts if you're going to mount them like this. And then he sends me an email. His name's Cliff, and he says, hey, I have a hobby machine shop at my house. Do you want me to machine those parts and then send them to you as kind of like a donation thing for your channel, and you can just try them out? And I was floored. I was like, all right, that sounds like a great idea. And I said, well, let me send you some printed parts to mock up, you know. And he's like, no, just send the original acrylic, the one that didn't break. And I was like, no problem. So I had these printed parts anyway, so I was going to use those, and then I just mailed him that acrylic piece, and, you know, sending some 3D printed stuff or whatever, just a handful of things, because it was going to cost me the same to ship it either way. And he sent me an email today, I think, or yesterday, that said, hey, I've got these machined. He threw some pictures in of him using the lathe and stuff. It was really cool. But he's got these like 6mm thick aircraft aluminum parts coming to me that will go on the back of this machine. So that is awesome. That's another instance of how cool this community is, and they're willing to help. When you have a problem, everybody just wants to fix it. That's really cool. So Cliff, if you're watching this video, if you watch it later, thank you. I appreciate that. Hopefully, maybe Cliff, if you're interested and you're out there and if you're interested in doing some machine work, or you know, there's always somebody around here that needs some parts that if we can't print them, or we can print them and then you can craft them out of aluminum. I'm sure there's a lot of people on this stream that would be willing to pay your fees to get those parts made. We'll see how they look. And they look great from the pictures, so I'm sure they're top quality, but can't wait to see them. So that's my awesome story that came out of the exploding 3D printed part, or acrylic part. Yes, well, the original part was flat, so I'm sure it was much easier to use as a pattern. Askew View 3D, definitely go check them out. They make tons of models. I'm always seeing a new model from them. That's Sholm. I now know how to say his first name. Good work over there. Sholm, you guys made something. I haven't watched the video yet. I haven't been up on my YouTube watching today, but it's called like Mr. Pointy or something. I have no idea what that is. What is that video all about? What is that thing that you modeled? It's very interesting looking. I almost shot my eye out. I almost did. You know, when acrylic explodes, you better look out, because there's going to be little fragments and slivers everywhere. Yeah, Kyle, I think maybe we talked about this during the live stream, but I think that's how it's going to turn out. I think we're going to end up with a piece of glass on this, because, yeah, it's definitely nowhere close to level. You can almost run a side business just helping people on YouTube. You know, it's amazing to me how many people are, you know, hey, your video helped me out. Here's $10. Here's $20. It's awesome. You know, I don't do it for the money, for profit. You know, I do it for profit, but it's always great to feel appreciated. People send you stuff. It's amazing. I can't believe what some people will do. It's great. Yeah, Rover, send those over. I'd like to see how that thing came out. I happen to know somebody that's on this stream right now that has a mini. Oh, you have a maker select though. That's a different one, right? I was thinking of a mini. I know somebody has a mini that's not working right now that we might be able to Frankenstein for some parts. Three designs. Buffy the Vampire, Mr. Pointy. Okay, now I get it. Thank you. I haven't watched the video yet, but I'm going to. Mr. Pointy. That's pretty funny. I like to machine parts. You know, I've done a little bit here and there in the past. How's our Benchy looking? Not bad. I just don't have any place to do it, and metal is so expensive. Another thing I've noticed on this machine is that the overhangs are crap. And it's because they use one of these half-size part cooling fans. I mean, the filament might be a touch hot, but I think it's just not getting enough cooling. Even they have a kind of a strange duct on the bottom of that fan. It's just got like a round, it's a big bar that's hollow, and then it's just got a round hole right next to the hot end. It needs to be directed onto the hot end a lot closer. So maybe a duct would fix it, but yeah, the underhangs are kind of awful. There's not a ton of light on that print. Got plastic wisps. Oh, it's the sheet metal one. Oh, okay, yeah, yep. I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, it definitely needs a better shroud. Big time. Again, I've asked this before, but I'm not sure what the following is. I haven't looked around for parts for this thing yet. I hate to start modding something before I even get any prints on it, but I guess we're kind of already out of the gate on that one with exploding acrylic and things like that. So why not now, right? Heatsink fan on the machine helped also cool off. But yeah, and this one is actually, the heat block is fairly low, where you see a lot of the other ones that are quite a bit higher, so that fan will help out. And I've had it apart already once, so it really can't go up much. Ron, thank you very much for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate it. No worries about Patreon. It's best effort. So I appreciate anybody that does, but I also, anything is great. I always appreciate it. X5 mods, okay, I'll check that out. Sago Labs, huh? Okay. Fair amount of parts, cool. Maybe this is going to be one that just gets modded and doesn't. I don't know. I really need to review it, but hey, what's a review, right? I'm almost out of green. I wanted to get some more of that. I like that color. Me and the He-Man sword. That's kind of getting to be a touchy point. You want, so let's Sholm, I will give you some spoilers on that if you want, and I will bring some stuff over. But it's not a good spoiler by any means. Or we can wait for the TiVo review. But you make the call. Sholm, it's in your court. If you want a slight spoiler, I'll bring it over here. I'll show you the trials and tribulations of the He-Man sword. Yeah, I agree. You could if the electronics could keep up, it's pretty fast. I was trying some prints with maximum acceleration just on travel moves, and it will hop around pretty quick. All mods. Heat block got cooled off by the heatsink. Oh, okay. I got you, Bo. Again, this one's down a little further, but that doesn't mean it still wouldn't happen. So maybe we should do a little bit of a temp adjust. It is not insulated. That heat block's not insulated. It's just, as you probably know, Bo, it's just Captain Tape. So anything's possible at this point. I do have some of those little insulator things that they're just kind of a pain to put on. Let's wait. Okay. Let's wait. We'll wait. We'll wait. Because there's a lot of spoiling with that sword. I'm going to try again, though. I'm going to try it. Yeah, I felt that way a couple of times. Ron, yeah. Well, the printer's no good, but the parts worked out great on this other printer that I built. There is a part cooling fan, James. It's on the other side, and it's one of those little half fans. I don't know if anybody's if everyone has seen one of those. Some of you know what I'm talking about. I think I have one, but it might take me forever to find it to show you what I mean. Oh, nope. Got it second drawer. It's got one of these deals on it. And they're not putting out a ton of air. It's like a half blower. So maybe it would work if we had the right duct, like everybody's saying, but as of right now, no, not enough air. Okay, spoilers. I gotta walk over here first. I'll just get one. This was the latest one. This is the last one I tried before I gave up for the day. So this is He-Man's sword like number 4. It was going really good until it fell over. So this is just stuff that printed on before I noticed that it printed on there. But I'll show you how far I made it here. And I'm not sure exactly what happened. The supports gave out on this side early, so it kind of did one of these. But then eventually this fell over. It actually curled right there, and I didn't see it because it was printing like this, like that. So it had some curl, and then eventually the wobble got enough at the top because I was printing them vertically because I'm trying to get the maximum amount of length for the sword, and it fell over, and then I came down to this. But this might not be as impressive as it looks, but this is probably the 4th time that I've done this. So, and that might be like a third of a roll of filament. So, but I'm gonna get it. It might not be as big, as long, tall as I can for the tornado, but I'm gonna get one. I swear. Cardboard behind the fan. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, it's not doing me any favors, I don't think. It's gotta be changed some. I'll get my desk fan out. Colin, I could totally put brim on there, but at this point I'm just being really stubborn. I should. That's exactly what I should do. That's what a smart person would do. High enough to heat block, yeah. I mean, I think I could. Oh, we'll see what I can come up with. There's definitely some room in there to, cause see it's actually got a flat spot that's trying to block some of the fan off the heat block, but it's probably not doing any good. Yeah, no, show them definitely. I am just doing this for sport at the moment. I just want to see if it's possible. So I think I sized that model up like 26,000%, something like that. Yeah, I can find something. I'll find something that's a little less flammable. We'll have to come up with something though, because this isn't gonna fly. I do have this cool blue stuff I could put on while I'm standing here. This is gonna be a relatively short stream this evening. We're just gonna stream the Benchy, see how it does. I just wanted to get I felt bad about the print explosion, so I wanted to get something out there so you know that I survived and we did actually get it to print. We don't want to go down without a print. Let's put blue stuff on. I like this blue stuff. Jumbo size Hulk axe. Yes, that would be cool. Maybe on the next, maybe if I get this one fixed, Hulk axe. Everybody like that smash button. James, I love that comment. That kid, Thomas, I don't want to, I know you had to go work on your video and you should be working on your videos instead of watching mine. But something about Thomas, I really like the way he does videos. He's just, you know, I think he's 11. He does such a great job for 11. He does a great job for a lot of YouTubers. It's not just because he's 11. He does a great job for a lot of people. But impressive. Impressive. Pants are always optional. That's right. Slicer. I almost always use Slick 3R, Slicer, whatever you want to call it. Slicer with a 3. Because I like the Prusa profile. I base pretty much everything on the Prusa 2mm layer height, or 0.2mm layer height profile, just because it seems to work by default on pretty much all the machines. I have used Cura. I have tried Kiss Slicer over the years. I still have a copy of Cura somewhere, and I get the new version every once in a while, even though that's probably the slowest download that I've ever had, but that's beside the point. So I still jump around a little bit. I do not currently have a copy of Simplified 3D. I don't want to pay for the license. but I would give it a try if I had one. That's pretty much it. So I stick with Slick 3R, and a lot of the reason why I stick with Slick 3R is not just because of the Prusa profiles, it's the integration with OctoPrint. I use OctoPrint on everything because I'm doing the multi-instant OctoPrint, so I can get like 4 or 5 printers on each Octopi, and I just point slicer at that IP and port number, and I hit slice, or I hit send. Oh, you don't even have to hit slice. You just hit send to printer. It sends it over there. You get on your web for Octopi, and you're done. So that's part of it. I do not know anything about Cura integrating with OctoPrint like that yet, having an API call over to OctoPrint. But if they do, if anybody knows that, I will give it another try. Because Cura is good, it's just different. You know, you learn one thing and you like to stick with it. Repetier host, I started with that, and you had your choice, right? You could just pick Cura or the Cura engine or the Slick 3R engine at random. And when Prusa started doing, so Slick 3R, if anybody doesn't know, they were dead. They were like, there was no upgrades on Slick 3R for a long time. And then Prusa picked it up and started running with it. And now it's, they do upgrades to it all the time. So it's pretty nice. But yeah, I started with that Repetier host. It's not bad. See what I missed. Hands. Oh, you guys crack me up. I'm cheap too. I just don't like. I'm a big open source software proponent. That's all I'll say about that, I guess. Okay, so Cura has a watch folder. OctoPrint has a watch folder as well. I didn't know if they had links over to like to Samba, or had something like that in there. I don't mess with Cura very much, so I should. Geodroid John, thank you. Thanks for coming. I am a subscriber of yours. Simplify 3D do this, so they do booths sometimes. At these, I've never seen them at a convention or anything like that. So they do sales when they're on the move. That would be interesting. I would go over and check it out. Okay, then I will check that out, Ron. If that is now in effect, I'll go check it out. Oh, and it's much appreciated. That was a real eye opener for me when I just realized it's like, hey, can I use multiple printers on this thing? And then just it just came to me, hey, there's no reason why you can't. And then I got to doing some research, and even I mean, there's a lot of people that say, yeah, you can, but then I didn't really see anything that said, here's how you do it. So really cool. I'm glad it worked out for you too. The chat to show up on the stream. I believe this is just part of Streamlabs. I don't remember. So either I created a CS cascading style sheet to integrate here. I can look it up. I can look up what I set up and send it to you. But I'm pretty sure this might just be the Streamlabs integration. James Print and Play, I know he does it. He can probably speak to it better than I can. It says dead air. I gotta check my microphone. Mismatch, then it connects fine. EEPROM mismatch, then it connects fine. I've never seen that one. Like 3 times EEPROM mismatch. It's not looking for baud rate, is it? I have not, Rover, I have not had time to hack the Wi-Fi module yet, though. I need to. It needs some help. Easier in switching profiles, cool. Watch folder exported so you can save the share and the OctoPrint picks it up. Okay. What kind of filament is this? This is inland PLA, just micro center stuff. That's pretty much the bulk. I mean, I've got a couple different kinds, but mostly I use it because it's about the cheapest that I can get my hands on. How did I get into 3D printing? I'll come back to that. Cool, 3D piece. Well, we'll see. We will check that out. We'll see if they have a booth. I'm good now? Okay, good. James is a streamaholic. Yes, he is. He's a wild man. He's been streaming like crazy, some of these prints. But they're always a good time to hang out. Yeah, same here. I really couldn't find a solution for it, so I'm glad it worked out for everybody. There's a plugin for Cura to Direct. Okay. Well, then I guess I'll check out Cura. How did I get into 3D printing? A buddy of mine that is a moderator on this chat got a 3D printer. And he said, hey, I'm going to build this and that. Where's going? Yeah, Uncle Brian is in chat. Hello, Brian. If you saw today's video, I was very tickled by putting that at the end of the video. I thought it was hilarious. Brian's probably printing something awesome right now. A buddy of mine, Colin, on this chat, got a 3D printer, and he said, hey, I'm going to do all this stuff, and I kind of ignored him for a couple of weeks, and then he said, hey, I'm going to print this, and you really should get a 3D printer. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Because I'm a big computer guy, and I've always got projects going on constantly, and I didn't have, sometimes I don't have a lot of time. I get involved in something, don't have a lot of time to work on anything else. And then finally he started showing me this stuff, and I sent him some STL files that said, hey, can you print this for me? I had this idea to build something. And he did, and when the file came back, or when I actually held the model, I was like, oh, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And we ended up buying printers at the same time. We got G-Tech Pro Bs. We both bought one, and we spent a whole weekend putting them together. And then that was it. After that, it was just 3D printer crazy. That's been a couple years now. 2 years now. Built by Me is here. Probably coding a 3D printer in bronze, that's right. I want to see that, by the way. Built by Me. Hello, Mark. Thank you for joining the stream. I appreciate it. He is also in Australia. He was the winner of one of the giveaways, and he got a Tronxy. I shipped him from GearBest, and he's been doing some awesome stuff over on his channel. So if you don't check him, if you don't subscribe to him, or you haven't checked out his videos, he's getting started with 3D printing, and he's doing a great job. So check him out. Working on it. Excellent. Stuck for ideas what to print. I've been there. Yes, I will be at the Midwest Rap Festival. I will be there. And if I don't know what anybody looks like, so come up to me, tell me your name or your screen handle, and I'll give you a maker coin or some whatever 3D printed thing I can find to bring. Ink printers now. Yeah, I've worked on a printer, an ink printer a time or two, and I wouldn't do it again. So I don't know why I got involved in 3D printers either. But it's just so cool to go from software to actual physical media. Amazing. Yeah, there you go. Sholm's got all kinds of designs. Print one of his. He's got tons of stuff. Nah, Ron. Red, what is? I think Red. I can't see us run together. What is going on? I've seen you at the stream before. Thanks for coming back. Yeah, Rover, go for it. No problem. I'm here to help you. I'm here just as much to show what I'm doing as it is to help everyone in the chat, and I want everybody to know that. Send me a comment, ask questions in chat, send me an email, plug your stuff. I mean, within reason. If it's not for profit, that's totally fine. No problem. Red, you're going to be at Murph, or you need to do self promotion. 3D printed shot glass. Yes. I wonder how long it would actually hold booze. I don't know. I don't think I've ever successfully printed anything that was actually watertight. Interview. Oh man, I don't know. If you'll have me. The printer build is probably the funnest part, I would guess. I agree with that. Thank you, Techno Geek 3D. Check them out. Thanks for coming to the stream. I appreciate it. Yeah, Mark, I just thought it was really funny. I was wanting to give him that printer anyway. It's been, I'm always behind on stuff, but it's been a couple of months probably since we did that last stream, and I wanted to give him that printer, so it just sounded like a good idea. Hey, come on, let's just have you magic appear. I like the way it turned out. It makes me laugh every time I watch it. 3D printers are less. I think they're less complicated than 2D printers. Hand printer and electric kitchen griddle. Nice. Cool. I will be there. There you go, stream. We could always use a few more streams. It feels weird when there isn't a stream going on nowadays. It seems like especially on the weekend, there's always one going on. I wouldn't drink out of them. Yeah, I've never been able to get it. I haven't tried in a long time, but I've tried to get watertight stuff before. Without coating it, I've never gotten it to hold water for very long. But I might try again. I know Angus has done it. Yeah, the other day was a hard duty paid. The other day was a hard day for a lot of channels. I have two channels. I have this channel, and then I've got a cloud computing channel, and they pulled monetization off of that channel, and it's been up for years now. Just not enough traffic. It's a really niche market. I do that more for reference than anything else. Yeah, get on Rover's list if you're down to 1,000 list or the giveaway list. It made me laugh pretty good. Me too. I was very tickled with myself when I made that. I actually green screened that the glowing tooth thing. That's the first time I've ever green screened something, and I was pretty proud of myself. I have to say, I'm not really good at video editing, but I was pretty proud of myself. Coffee mug. Problem solved. Where's the convention at? The convention is in Goshen, Indiana. It is almost a 9-hour drive for me, Brian. And Colin and I will be making that trek the Friday before. It should be pretty interesting. It's all 3D printers. This isn't like a maker fair. It's all 3D printers. Yeah, streams are fun. I like stopping in, seeing what's going on, saying hey to everybody, catching up, and then I can jump in and out while I'm working on stuff. I'm usually when you're talking to me like through somebody else's stream, I'm usually standing here cussing at something or whatever. So just imagine that. I'll tell you like, hey, I can hear you, but I'm gonna walk off. That's because I walked over there and I'm working on something else. I'm not going as fast as I should on I get talking about something, not going as fast as I should. A 1.2 base mode and it's watertight. Heck yeah, we're gonna try that. I was kidding. That was awesome. Jackie's here. Hi, Uncle Brian. I try to I like the simple videos. I like it to get straight to the point, so I agree. Keep it simple as possible. Don't have to edit them. And you get lots of watch time. I mean, if that's something you need, all this stuff counts as views and watch time and interactions. I mean, every comment that you guys put in chat counts on the watch list. Free Florida. You guys should convoy all the Florida people. You should meet up and convoy up. I don't know why this spool holder is really moany and groany. Oh, it's because the center is made out of PETG. That's why. It's sticky. Awesome. You should come with us, Brian. And I think Murph is free as far as I know. I had 200,000. No, not quite yet. I don't know how many 3D printing channels there are, but I'm guessing there's probably one or two. You can make guesses who they are that have over 200,000. I think Joel Telling, I think he's only 160, 170, something like that. So it's still kind of niche. There's not a ton of us with tons and tons of subscribers. Thanks for coming, Michael. Appreciate it. I'm sure I'll see you on the stream before Mirth. We got a couple more, so we'll see you. Driving over from New York. Hey, that's still quite the hike, probably. I don't know how many hours that would be. Hand him the phone. Yep. He probably does it really fast, too. No, it's like lime green. What do they call it? Inland calls it peak green. No, it's not glow in the dark. The only glow in the dark I have is that weird clear color. Pistachio green. Yeah, there you go. 3 or over the 2K mark. Okay. Yep. RC Life on. I forgot about him. I forget about him sometimes. Very entertaining videos though. He's kind of all over the place though. He's not. I mean, Angus does some stuff that isn't 3D printing, CAD modeling, but RC Life on. He does all kinds of cool stuff. But a lot of it is 3D printing focused. He's always making something Rick and Morty. Video games are more important. Yep. 12. 12 hours? Wow. I do not. I don't know that podcast. I'm not a big podcast person. Seems like I need to figure out a way to listen to it while I'm standing here working on stuff. He is still fun to watch. He's great at editing video. He's very entertaining. He's always doing something though that makes me laugh. It cracks me up. I like it when there was one he was like testing out electric skateboard or something, and he just runs into some random person and he's like, "Hey, do you want to try?" And so this strange guy is riding a skateboard up and down the street. It's pretty funny. It is strange. I'm glad you mentioned that. It is strange seeing the bed go down. It's kind of surreal. And I'm always trying to move the bed when I level it instead of moving the hot end. I'm trying to slide the bed and it doesn't go anywhere. Eleven and a half. Glenn's driving 16. Yeah. Glenn must be way down there. I'll have to go look it up. WTFF. I'll have to go look that up. I got to remember that, and I got to remember the guy that does the parts for the X5. Got it so far. So far, so good. Yeah, or only the bed moves. I have to think about how that works. Okay, so you're actually further out. Close to Orlando. Yeah, this bed's actually higher in the center. I've I've tried to mitigate the issue, but if we tried to print something big, it's probably a half a millimeter off from the outside to the inside. So yeah, it's definitely warped. We're gonna need a fix for that. Three hours away. Five and a half. Yeah, that gets really annoying when they squeak. Have an original Prusa i3 with 3mm filament. What hot end update would you recommend? I wonder what hot end that is. On the original i3, I don't know what hot end that would be. But I can tell you, if you want to go cheap, and you don't mind Teflon line tube, you can go V6 Lite, E3D V6 Lite, or you can go full on and go E3D. As far as hot end goes, I mean, I don't know what kind of extruder setup you're looking for, but as far as hot end goes, for the money, those are probably going to be your best bet. They're really top quality. And if you want to go even better than that, they will sell you titanium parts that will never wear out. So I don't know exactly which one you're replacing, so I don't know which one it had on it. At least 4 years old. Yeah, see, I'm not sure that far back. Stupid smartphones. I love that phrase. Yeah, and then I do have I've got a touch type sensor somewhere. I could try it. Checking in and testing me. MK1, I don't, like I said, I would have to go back because they still offer documentation for all those printers. I think it's just in the legacy documentation bin. You could probably go back and get all those specs. I'm not sure what they called it. I thought it was just the i3 at that point. When all the printers get very outdated, I have thought about that. Really, a Prusa printer? Yeah, that's another good question. Everybody throws Prusa around so much, don't they? So carbon fiber filament. Some people say that you can brass. I was talking with somebody about Robo Filament the other day, and they have a carbon fiber line, and they say brass nozzles are fine. I would guess it would probably wear out the nozzle quicker, but I think it depends. It depends on how rough it is. Well, we just got another donation. Thank you very much, Mark, for the $10. Time to get back to work. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. All donations are very much appreciated. Thanks for being able to join the stream, by the way. I know that's hard for you to get on some of these streams, the time zones and everything. So hotel tickets. Okay. John, I don't know if that question is for me, but yes, I am still in the partner program. Fortunately, all of you, all of the community has enabled me to stay in the partner program. MK1 and i3. Okay. All right, Duty, thanks for showing up. Thanks for coming so late. We'll this is gonna be a short one anyway tonight. We'll probably catch you on Sunday. That's crazy. 10/24 Thursday in Japan. It's Thursday in Australia right now, right? Bo. Half mile from Maker's Fair. I don't remember what hotel we're in. It's not very far, but I don't think it's 1.5 miles. I think it's a little further than that. It's down south a little ways. It's like the Comfort Inn or something like that. There you go. Pick up some pizzas. There's White Castle. We don't have White Castle in Missouri, but there's White Castle all over the route to Goshen, and we are going to get down on some of that. I know a lot of people don't like it, but some people just love it. And they used to be here in Missouri like 20 years ago. We don't have them anymore, so we're definitely gonna hit that, and we'll probably feel like hell all weekend. But I don't care. 2:25 a.m. U.S.-based filament suppliers. I don't know of anybody doing master spool stuff yet, but we should get on that. Maker Geeks might, but I don't know how you feel about their filament. Prusa i3 MK2S? A hot-end upgrade for an MK2S? That's a question, sorry. Crystals is better. Aren't they the same? Aren't White Castle and Crystals the same? Do they have the same stuff? I don't know. I've never seen a Crystals. I think they're way down south. I've never been to one. You're the Best Western. Belly Bombers, yeah. Yeah, Colin, you're either going to love it or hate it. But you have to order 10 at a time. That's just the rule. You are right. You're right. You got me on that one. Ron says there's a brew pub somewhere around there that we have to go check out. So if it's an MK2S, I really don't know what you would upgrade to. I mean, you could go to a Titan, or you could go to, I mean, you could get like real crazy and go to a Kraken or something. What's the Titan Arrow? I mean, there are other E3Ds, but as far as going outside the E3D family, I don't know what you'd get. I really can't think of anything at the moment. I mean, there's lots of different ones. I mean, you could go, it depends, hot-end extruder, right? I'm not sure. E3D is so good, that's kind of what if I'm going to spend money on it, I usually get those. Not the same at all. Okay, well, I always thought they were the same thing. Agreed. They could be so much better. Maybe they are now. I don't know. I haven't tried them in a while, but I'm too scared to. Yeah, Ron was saying there was some brew house or something around there. Five Guys. We have a Five Guys. They are good. It's a good hamburger. Yeah, Smith 5. See if you can get a sample. I'd be interested to see if you could get something. That's a cool concept. I like the spool system. I like the concept. "30 inches across. Wow. Thank you. I appreciate it. We're doing our best. We're going to keep it up as long as we can. Again, I appreciate that. Anytime, I mean, you want to run questions by all these people? There's a lot of very knowledgeable folks in these chats, so if somebody can help you out. Thanks, John. Thanks for coming by. Saturdays, I'll be on the lookout for you stream. Mike, insane food sizes. We're kind of that's what we pride ourselves in, is giant food. I've heard people say that about Fuddruckers before. We used to have one, but it wasn't here long enough for me to get there. It was quite a ways away. I've never been in one, and I haven't seen one since that one closed. Yeah, Ron, I thought you were the one that said there was something like that around pretty close local. Maybe not. Excellent. Yeah, keep us posted. What? $300? Wow. We have Freddy's. Freddy's isn't bad. Yeah, we get those once in a while. They're not bad. We always end up talking about, at least for a little while, we end up talking about something food. And then now I'm hungry again. Goshen Brewing Company. Excellent. Yep, we gotta check that out. Yeah, show them I'm with you. We need a burger. So I got some blue stuff left. Guess I could put it on the side. They sent me some kind of some. Oh, I didn't even notice this. I'm opening it up. I didn't even notice this when I opened the box. Like this stuff is so old that the filament they sent me, every spool is broken. Every time they wrapped it, it snapped. That is just pitiful. Tronxy, I can't even let it go or it's just gonna fall like spaghetti here. So it's going straight in the recycle bin. That's a shame. They're letting me down on this one. That's for sure. I must have been sitting around in that bag forever. Well, there goes that. Well, I guess I'll have to do without that one sample. Oh, 2 brewing companies. Show me up 2 boys. You have to. I remember being that age. You got to find the cheapest food possible. They're going to eat a ton of it. It does match the quality of the machine. Got me there. I'd like to try one of those. I want it to just, I want to load like four, I know I'm kind of missing the point of it, but I want to load 4 spools the same color just so I don't have to worry about printing large prints. I would feel so much better. Bison burger. I haven't had one of those in a long time. I had one when I was out in Colorado not too long ago. The Ender 2 is nice. Yeah, it's okay, I guess. Fit in the garbage can, dude. Burger flavored filament. You remember Joel was doing those? I don't remember what he called them. No, I can't think of what he called them. But he was like making bacon filament, and then he did the high five blue. He was going to proto pasta, but they called like the whole segment something. They were supposed to do those. I never know. I knew they did like 2 of them. I don't know if they ever did any more after that. But there you go. He needs a burger flavored one now. There you go. He's gonna learn how to drive now. Oh, sweet. I didn't know it would do that. That would be awesome. I could use a filament recycler. That'd be a big help if I had a place to put it. Sweet. I've never had any of their filament. I've seen, what is it, Pooch, I think is what they call him. I've seen him on live streams and stuff, but I've never had any of their filament. Some of it looks really cool. $25K spools? Wow. What would that cost to ship? It does. It gets real sugary smelling when you burn the crap out of it. When you get the hot end too hot, or like you leave it on an accident for a little too long, it kind of gets real sugary smelling when it starts to break down. Red Bull filament. Yes. High Five Blue? Yeah, that's what they call it. It supposedly has caffeine in it. Like powdered caffeine. Knowing what I know now as a first timer. I don't know. Me personally, I don't think I would change anything. I think I enjoyed the. I came with 3D printing. I kind of did it. We came up rough, right? I mean, we started with a really cheap machine. We had to figure out how to get it to work correctly, and it was kind of the quest for the perfect print. It was more than just building machine and printing. You were actually trying to conquer this thing, and that made it fun. By the time I got to a printer that actually just worked and I didn't have to work on it, I was almost a little bored. Like, wow, it just prints things. I don't have to work on it anymore. That seems kind of boring. But I appreciate it now for projects and things like that. A printer that just works and I don't have to mess with. But then it was kind of about all the hacking and the tweaking. So it depends. Do you want a machine to mess with? We always go back to this, and you know that. But if you want a machine to mess with, there's a million of them out there. If you want a machine that just works, there's a few of them out there. Yes, caffeine can kill you quickly. It can absorb through your skin. It is not stuff to mess with. Coffee PLA, awesome. That must be proto pasta. It is cornstarch, that's correct. Yeah, that was a terrible looking Benchy, but I'd still try it. The candy one I was talking about. Yeah, that's a lot of filament. The best stooge. I'm sorry, I don't know your first name, but what printer was that? I've had printers do that to me before. I've actually had printers where I had to go over and put my finger on the fan to let it come up to temp before the printer would take off. I dig the reloadable spools, and that's what we were just talking about, the whatever they call it, system that Tom was working on, trying to get filament for those reloadables. I think it's cool. I think we should do it. There's no reason not to. I get really tired of finding someplace to go with these spools. I do send them for recycle, but it would be better if I didn't have to. Yep, protopasta. I don't know what the price point is in protopasta. I've meant to go look at it half a dozen times and then lost track. This Benchy has some very uneven layers, by the way. Master spool, sorry, master spool. Oh, yeah, that was an X5S that you're talking about. Did you have any acrylic explosions? And a nice garbage bag, yeah. I send all mine to Maker Geeks. Maker Geeks. I don't buy Maker Geeks filament. I have in the past and haven't had a lot of luck with it. But I do send I pay the shipping to send all of my filament and all my spools to them, and they turn it into their recertified or whatever that reclaimed series or whatever. It's not that much cheaper, but it's just for my peace of mind, I guess. I'm not throwing it in the garbage. I actually save it and I ship it off. That is true. They have pretty good size 6mm screws in them. So yes, you can. You could totally use that as a master spool. No, it doesn't make any difference in the US. It just keeps going up the heavier it gets. There's nothing you can do about it. And it gets higher and higher all the time. 50 empty, I know. I've got them stacked everywhere. I'm giving them to anybody that will take them. That is true, because I'm always getting random size spools that don't fit on whatever spool holder I'm using at the time. Yeah, they're bolted up. Really? They just said what that just build what comes in the box? Well, I can tell you, when you build it, you won't be disappointed. Unless you want to sell that one and get an MK3, and then you even more won't be disappointed. They're great machines. They just work. They really do. I mean, you can't, if you, you know, it's just like with anything else. You can screw it up. I mean, some of them are damaged. I mean, there are problems that can arise, but for the most part, the Prusa machines just work. I've seen contraptions that you can splice the ends together, and I've often considered making one. But again, another project that I need to get to. I would still like to tackle that. We've talked about that on streams before. Can we figure out a quick and dirty way of splicing filament? We need to figure that out. Yeah, I'm gonna end up with a piece of glass for this, I'm sure. Make a table out of them. We could glue them together and make a robot, set it on the side of the highway, have it wave into traffic. Yeah. Do you use? Well, I don't know what kind of spool holder you use. I use these, so I have I have a couple different size barrels that I can switch them out if I end up with an odd size one. Yeah, I got to get a hold of one of them NK3s. It's on the list. Yeah, it kind of does. There's a these lights are fluorescent, like huge fluorescent bulbs, so it's kind of making it look blue, but it's kind of a light green color. You too. Thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate it. Yep, definitely. We want to see the MK3. That's right. Yeah, you got to have something to keep that diameter consistent. So you have to have a, you have to have, you have to have something that's that size bore. So it'd have to be pretty well machined. I've thought about making a filament maker. I've watched many videos on it. It's too much for me to undertake at this point. I would like to do it though. I've seen some people successfully do it with some pretty primitive parts. I don't know how good the filament is, but hey, we gotta start somewhere. MK, they're giving away an MK3? Wow. $24 volt, 500 watt. Yeah, that's a lot of juice. That should get it. That should get the job done, though. That's for sure. Oh, it's actually made of 2020. Yeah, PTFE2. If it was PLA, it'd work pretty good, probably. Yeah, that's the easiest thing to do is filament sensors. And Ron, that's why I wanted. That's another reason why I wanted MK3. And I hear you. You can get a couple of CR10s, but MK3 or MK2s and threes, it's just you just keep hitting print. You hit print, you take your parts off. You hit print, you take your parts off, and there's nothing to do. And I don't. If you're looking at MK3s and thinking 750 for the kit, consider an MK2. There's MK3 is awesome, and I would love to have removable bed and things like that. But if that is a great price for an MK2, and they're available right now, they will ship them to you right now. It does it in the U.S. It's a little trickier because it does cost like $70 to get it shipped here. But in my opinion, it's still worth it if you got the money. I could at least matchmaker gigs, probably. I'm only 4 hours from them, so it'd be the same on shipping. That's true. I mean, if you're wanting to do production more faster. Oh, so you got a buggy version of 1.7? That's interesting to know. Well, thank you very much for the $5 tip. I will do my best to keep the content coming. And again, I appreciate your support on Patreon very much. Thank you. I know. It's really hard. It's really hard not to back the MK3. I have no affiliation with Prusa whatsoever. I've never even met the man, and I really want to. I'm hoping that he is at Murph. He's supposed to be at Murph. I would really like to meet him. I don't get any money off of Prusa printers. No affiliation whatsoever. I just really like the one I have. It's going to be hard pressed for me to find another printer in that price range that I like that much. It just really works well. We can talk about it, Ron. We'll talk about it. Maybe we can win one. Prusa always gives away one machine wherever he goes, so maybe you'll be the lucky one there. Yeah, see, I got Colin. I cost Colin almost $1,000. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hopefully you can catch another one sometime. Always good to see everybody and talk to everybody. See everybody's name and talk to everybody. Over medium. Shoal really works those printers. He prints out a lot of stuff. Yeah, brown envelope. No, just anything that says Prusa on it in here costs me a fortune. Yeah, I wish I could get a hold of one of those MK42s. I would swap my Prusa clone out with it right now. I'd love to have one. The retraction probably 2 millimeters at 40 millimeters a second, probably. I don't know that for sure. It's not doing too bad, but it has some layer shift to it. And you'll see that when we pull the Benchy off. But it definitely has some layer shift. 1 to 10 on Benchy scale. This one might be a 5, 5.5. Cool. I would like to see those videos. I always like to see the build process and how everybody does it. I wasn't even doing. I mean, when I built that clone, I wasn't even doing videos at that time. So In fact, you can see the parts of that clone on some of the original like photos that are on YouTube, but before I even had all the parts yet. Prusa really knows their machines. Those people work on them all day and all night, so they really know their stuff. Sean, what actually happened to that? What was, I remember you saying you had to ship it back. What actually happened with that machine? What did it do? What was it doing? I'm curious to see how that MK42 turns out. I'd like to see one. Oh, we're bridging the roof. Awesome. Yeah, I definitely want to see that. Oh, wow. Was that, Sean, was that a pre-built machine or a kit machine? I'm guessing it was a pre-built machine, right? Yeah, it happens. I mean, you know, it's manufacturing like anything else, right? Assembled, yeah. Well, that's cool. I'm glad they support them like that. I don't think I have anything really else cool to show you. Oh, nice. They resent the filament and everything. Steel fill? Awesome. I think Prusa's trying to step up their filament manufacturing too. It seems like even if you do want to order Prusa filament, most of the time they're out of all the colors. Custom enclosure? A Prusa custom enclosure? Sweet. Mini Rainbow's a good board, definitely. Yeah, this is OBS. And they're just C920 webcams. Not the best quality, but just you know, just enough to get me started, pretty much. Ultimate Machine, yeah, gotcha. Oh, cool, having one built. What do you think of that Benchy, the XYZ? What do you think of that machine? I see them around, but I've never actually had one. I've known a couple of people that have got them off of Amazon. Yeah, there's just a little layer shift. And I want to say it's because they're slack in the belts. It is definitely mechanical shift, though. And the biggest one I can see is shifted that way. I don't think my pulleys or anything are going to fly off. Yeah, that would be a cool upgrade. So many cool things we can do with 3D printers. So many cool upgrades. So many things to buy. Oh well, it's another piece of crap. Yeah, I know that feeling. Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good if people are happy enough with it. Yep, JT, we're still going. We're just we're just finishing the top here. We're on like the 4th or 5th layer, it looks like. $100? Wow. I don't know what one of those costs new, but that sounds like a steal to me. Yeah, good product, worth support. Seems like I see that occasionally, especially in the 3D printer market. Short version of what happened with the print? Is that what you're asking, JT? Nothing happened with the print. We just stood around and talked about food and Prusa the whole time. I haven't had any crazy echo, but most of the time I'm using these USB lavalier mics, these Samson mics, so I haven't had any echo. When you try to, I can tell you, when you try to use 2 of the USB mics at once, you get some crazy echo. But no, I haven't had the echo problem. There's all sorts of different crashing problems and stuff that OBS does, but no, I haven't had that one. Yeah, so much to buy, so little pay. And beer. You gotta keep the beer budget. You always have to have a little set aside for that. Oh, plate leveling bulge in the middle. I just roughed it, so I ended up just adjusting the Z height and we're printing on that bulge pretty much at this point. If I wanted to go with anything bigger, it's going to cause a serious problem. So I'm going to get by with as much as I can and get this thing at least printing halfway decent, and then probably a piece of glass is going to be the fix. So yeah, really, I'm just getting by at the moment. Almost done. Before I fixed the Bowden tube, it was leaking pretty bad. I think that's all just existing stuff. I don't think we're leaking anything else now. But there is still some stuff on there. You never know what's going to drip on your model. Called a brown spot. 150. There you go. Still a lot of work to be done for this machine, though. Just hang in there. Like I told some buddies of mine when I started on YouTube that I believe that you could just grind it out. And that's what I've been doing. I've been grinding it out. Just video after video, trying to find topics that I think people will enjoy. I like printers, so I buy more printers, and then I feel like I should do a review because maybe it helps somebody. Even though there are a ton of reviews out there for every machine, I want to keep it as honest as possible and just keep on cranking out the content. And it seems to be, I mean, I've been doing this 7-8 months, something like that. And it seems to be working pretty good. So it does take a lot of time, though. So, I mean, I respect the YouTube creators. It takes a lot of time to do this stuff. Every weekend, a lot of nights, and a fair amount of funds. It's not cheap. It's not necessarily all that cheap to do this stuff. Yeah, yes, before you, I think somebody asked me that before. It might have been you. Oh, and it's done. It's pretty stiff, believe it or not. It doesn't have any of those corner brackets on it, but it's very rigid. They use 6mm bolts in the corners, so it's not bad. It's pretty nice. I'll give them that. It's pretty rigid. Oh yeah, that very well could be because those cams pick up, the audio's not great, but it does pick up quite a few from quite a ways away. So that's, yeah, probably just mute one, you'll be fine. All right, Rover, we're almost done here. So our Benchy is done. I'm gonna let it cool for a second, and then we're gonna take a look at it. But I will catch you on the next stream, I'm sure, no matter whose stream it is. In my own tears. I like that. In my own tears. I totally get what you mean. Yes. I will unassemble this and throw it in a box, and I will give it away. Yeah, it's throwing out that content. That's what it is. I mean, you end up with a whole lot of videos that have like 100 views, but it really does start to rack up. Yeah, you got to be honest. And the only way I really feel honest, I mean, I can do an honest review, but I always feel like if somebody gives me a printer, even GearBest, which GearBest is kind of a faceless mass, you know, you don't really know who you're dealing with very well, only over email. Even when they give me a printer, and I've only received 2, this is one of them, I feel like I'm a little more obligated to say it was decent because they did give it to me for free, but I can't do that. No matter what you give me for free, or who gives me what. I can't tell you. I can't tell. The people that we sat here around and talk about printers, if I told you it was good and it was a piece of crap, I can't do that. That's not going to work. So no matter if it was free or I had to pay for it, I'm going to be honest about it. And when I pay for it, I can be as honest as I want. So I feel that way inside, you know. But so that's why I prefer it almost. All right. It is stuck good. In fact, I don't want to risk ripping it. It's one thing about this frame design. It makes it hard to get the print off sometimes, especially when it's this tall. All right. Started out pretty strong. See if I can get this focused in. In fact, let's bring this down. It'll be easier. As honest as I wanted to, live crew. And that's old school. Let's pull this out here a little bit. There we go. So, started out pretty strong. A few maybe misaligned layers a little bit. You can see where it totally didn't do that underhang. So definitely a cooling issue. Whether it be the hot end, the heat block's too hot, or the fan's not strong enough, we will have to check that out. This is the biggest shift that I see. And it's kind of common to see the shifts around the porthole like that, but it's usually at the bottom of the porthole. And it goes pretty much all the way around. I mean, it didn't recover at one time. And you can see it in the wheelhouse really bad. Right in there. Stringing's good, though. I mean, retraction settings look good. But that shift layer, and you can see there's a couple in there. Those shift layers, I don't know about that. I mean, it's so shifted right there, it's actually missing filament. But, you know, the stack turned out good. The finish looks good. It's not squished, so it doesn't really look like it's getting too hot. Just more fan, more cowbell. Can't read that, of course. It's not terrible, but not great either. But we got a printout. That was the main point of this stream. We finally, we didn't explode any ports, and we got some prints out. Yes, springs like clothespins. I've seen those. They didn't include any of these. I might have some laying around. So that might be an option. Do I get manicures? No. You should see in real life how banged up my hands really are. My fingers are even crooked. Yes, that is sad. We've talked about that before. Very sad. I hate to hear it. I'd be lost. I'd be lost. So, let's write on this, Benchy, before I forget. So we have some work to do on this. Got to figure out the build surface. I think these belts are loosening up. Cliff is sending us some metal parts, so that should be interesting. I want to put those on there and see what we can do about making it a tensioner for it or something like that. Because these parts are definitely going to have a little flex in them. I mean, they're printed, and this steel belted stuff is not going to help any. Medically speaking. Build volume overall 330, 330, 400, I believe is what somebody looked up. Still going to take some time to getting used to the bed. But the good thing about the bed dropping down, though, if you have real tall stuff, if you've ever done the really tall stuff on like tornadoes or CR10s or anything like that, when you get to the very top and if it's not real wide at the bottom, you'll get just that little bit of vibration, and you'll get those pock marks. This would avoid that. So if we can get it working correctly or working well, maybe that will be good. It wasn't too bad to wire, really. It's kind of a mess. I don't know, you can't see it now, but I'll show it to you later. But it's kind of a mess. I did my best with the spiral wrap, but there's still a lot of slack left. If I wanted to redo all the plugs, I could get it better. Yeah, it's a little bigger than Tornado. Which, yeah, I've done a bunch of prints on the Tornado. I need to get on that and to do a few more. There's a few more things I still want to test. But anyway, I think that's good for the stream tonight, everyone. We've got our Benchy out. The printer does print. I feel better about not leaving you hanging on the live stream. So, thanks for everyone. The usual spiel. Thanks to everyone that gave tips tonight. I really appreciate it. Thanks for everyone to come and hang out. We had a lot more of the usuals than I thought. So even at this time slot, you guys are still willing to come and hang out. That's awesome. And I guess that's it. So thanks everyone. We'll catch you on the next one. We'll see you if anybody's around Sunday. We're going to start at 10, but we'll be around for a while. Special guest, special printer. It's different than anything we've done before. So we'll see you then, definitely. Coffee's on me. All right. Thanks, everyone.